Look, then too.
No joy, man. No joy.
Listen, I know what you're thinking, and no, I'm not going to answer any of your questions. If I started answering questions, I'd end up being here for another 5 minutes, which I would really prefer not to. Okay, you know what? Maybe that's a little unfair. I'll answer one of your questions. So, Mochaton, where have you been? Why are you coming back now? Well, it's got nothing to do with that one guy who said that one thing on that one video calling me a furry and saying my channel was dead. Because guess what? When a question says select all that apply, and you only choose one of the right answers, you get the whole question wrong. So 0 points. And just so we're clear, that has nothing to do with this. I'm saying that is not the reason I'm making another video. I'm doing this because I want to. I want to do this. And also, that was 2 questions. This game is in early access and is actively being worked on. When it's fully released, the window being sometime by the end of 2021, maybe early 2022, it will be roughly 2.33 times the size it is now, going from 15 levels to 35 levels. You can follow the developer here, and by the time this video comes out, it's possible that plans may have changed, so it's best you go check for yourself and see what's going on. I don't think it being in early access matters. In fact, I'm excited that a game this good isn't finished yet, but I guess it's important that everybody knows exactly what they're going into. I'm probably not going to be making a follow-up video when the next acts come out, because first of all, I don't even know if I'm going to make a video after this one, and second of all, assuming it's more of what we already have and then some, then chances are, it's pretty good. Now that that's out of the way, I have a problem. How do you describe with words why you should play Ultrakill if all of this hasn't already gotten you to want to play it? I could probably get most people who are into this kind of thing to buy it if they just sat down and watched raw footage of the game, but you didn't wait 2 years for that. Chances are you didn't wait 2 years for anything. I'd be willing to bet at least 5 of these people are dead by now, and the other 55 didn't remember they were subscribed to me. Fuck, I was right. This is the first thing you're shown. Well, technically before any of that, it actually does arguably one of the best things a video game has done in a long time, which is let you adjust your settings, like volume, and graphics, and volume. I know that sounds small, but take it from someone who likes hearing things. Game developers, please do not make your game start at max volume. It is awful. I would much rather have the game start quiet, and I have to turn it up, than the game starting, my eardrums bursting, and then not having any volume options for the rest of my life. Anyway, you might have a few questions after seeing that, or you don't, judging by who would buy this game. And, well, I can't answer any of them. The game's not done, and as such I don't quite have the full picture of what's going on yet. There's a handful of things that point to stuff here and there, but if you're a lore fiend, I'm afraid you're probably going to have to wait for the full release. If you've played Dusk or Amid Evil, you might not be surprised to hear that Ultrakill is also published by New Blood. If you've only played these games, then you actually might be surprised to hear that. Being part of the Zoomer gang, I'm not very familiar with the graphical limitations of something released 7 years before I was born, so I can't really tell you if all of this is authentic or not. Although considering there's an entire section dedicated to making it look more like a PlayStation game, I'm going to assume there's a pretty acute line connecting the two things. I went back and played some PS1 games, and my takeaway was mainly just that if he cared enough to add that weird texture wobbling thing, he probably cares enough to make the rest at least mostly accurate. While I'm on the topic, I also want to mention the environments. I like them. They're all very unique from each other and have their own specific identities that correspond with the 9 circles of hell, which is why these two places exist in the same game. My favorite one is this place, which looks like paradise until you see the speakers, and the scan lines, and these people. To tie it all together, the soundtrack is also pretty good. It's one of the few games where I don't mute the music to listen to something else. If you hadn't gotten it from the gameplay that's been gameplaying in the background, Ultrakill is a first-person action shooter not too dissimilar to Quake, which is something I'm pulling out of my ass because I'm 19 and have played Quake for 5 minutes. The most immediately noticeable thing in this game is the movement, which I don't know if you noticed, but you kind of do a lot. You can jump, dash, dash jump, slide, wall jump, and ground slam, and obviously you can walk too. Sliding, by the way, isn't dependent on momentum. Control isn't a crouch button, it's a slide button. Fluid movement mechanics and non-restrictive level design makes for fun. It's refreshing to have a game that doesn't hold you down. Ultrakill more or less lets you do whatever you're capable of doing. I say more or less because you do have a stamina bar, but for one, the only things that use stamina are the dash jump, and the ground slam, and two, it refills so quickly that you'd never be in danger of running out, given you aren't toggling sticky keys every other second. And even if you do run fresh out of stamina, you still have 4 movement options that don't rely on it. I never felt once like there was a situation I couldn't get out of in some way, be it using my high mobility or shooting my way out. Speaking of shooting, for some reason, there are guns in this game. I don't really know why. Currently, there are 4 different weapons: the revolver, shotgun, nail gun, and rail cannon. None of these weapons need ammo. None of these weapons need to reload, with the exception of the shotgun. All the weapons fill different spaces. The revolver is hit scan, the shotgun is high damage at close range, so on. Every weapon also has a secondary function that ranges from charging up a high damage shot to shooting out a metal rod that nails get magnetized to. And if that wasn't enough, every weapon, including your fist, also has at least one variation that gives it a different secondary. Your fist, by the way, can parry almost any attack or projectile, including, but not limited to, these fireballs, this big guy's fist, and the bullets from your own shotgun. And I know, they're not called bullets. Shut the fuck up. There are already plenty of weapons to use, and chances are, since the game is in early access, we haven't even gotten to see all of them yet. Oh yeah, and this is exactly as fun as it looks. Ultrakill is a whole barrel of fun. I'm doing my best to tell you about it, but words can only do so much. Well, my words. Really, you just have to play it for yourself. And the good part is that you can, for free. There's a demo on Steam, so you don't have a lot to lose. Certainly not your time. You're sitting here watching this video, so don't pretend you care about that. Go to devilmayquake.com and it'll take you straight to the Steam page for this game. Getting back on track, maybe you heard that URL and thought, wait, I see the Quake, but where's the Devil May? And I would pity you, because out of all the things you could have been, you're a Devil May Cry fan. Generally, you build up your style through fighting, utilizing different weapons, multi-kills, precision shots. Punching a boss is a show of disrespect, and you build up a multiplier through continued and clean movement, staying airborne, sliding, wall jumping, really anything that isn't walking or standing still. The entire system is completely optional. I did a little testing, and as far as I can tell, it has no gameplay ramifications. Really, the only reason you need to play to style is to get a perfect on a level or get a higher score. While I am superficial and I do like to play flashy characters, especially the ones with style meters, it would be nice to have some kind of incentive to care about your style grade. Small damage buff, faster stamina regen, stacking bonus movement speed. I respect that not having an effect on gameplay might be intentional, but the style system is very fun to use, and introducing a more worthwhile reason to use it might get more people to see that and try to use it more. The last mechanic I feel I should mention is actually one of the first things that you saw. Not that. That. Right there. The only way to regain health is by covering yourself in that funny red water that comes out of people when you hit them really hard. At first I thought it was a little bit weird. There's only one close range weapon and you have to be standing right next to the enemy in the danger zone to get the good stuff. So why would the only way to heal be tied to this? Then I realized, dude, just don't get hit. You fucking idiot. The whole point of getting to move like a junkie on crack is so that you can avoid getting hit and ever being at low health at all. Healing is dangerous because it's your last line of defense from dying. Being forced to go in close to heal is a punishment for not effectively utilizing your movement and related capabilities. But let's pretend you do end up getting hurt, which I never have, so it's going to be a little hard for me, but I guess I can try to speculate. Given that circumstance, I would think that it might not strictly be a bad thing, because if you do have to get that close, you get to use your shotgun, which will easily kill most rank-and-file enemies, and do a lot of damage to the stronger ones. Just a guess. Making too many mistakes forces you to make a high-risk play, but when you're at low health, that high-risk play has an even greater payoff than it normally would. Now, instead of just being a lot of damage, the payoff is a big heal and a lot of damage. It incentivizes you to get into the middle of things and fight. Understanding the game a little more made me realize just how much fun the harder difficulties will probably be when they come out. My expectation is that movement will become much more important as healing becomes much harder to pull off without dying. I personally didn't find the most difficult setting we currently have to be all that hard, so I'm hoping the future ones will, beat me more. I think the V2 fight was the only place where I really struggled, but aside from that, I never really found myself hitting a wall where I felt I had to get gooder to continue. Oh yeah, and by the way, multiplayer is not going to be a thing. I know you saw V2 and you started thinking about it, so stop. Stop thinking about it. And also stop bothering Hakita about it. If that competitive fire still does burn a blazing hole through your heart, well, then there's the cyber grind, which is an endless, I think, wave-based game mode that, among other things, does have a leaderboard, so compete, I guess. And hey, that's about all I have to say. One playthrough of this game made it one of my favorite shooters and well worth the $20 that it currently costs. It also made me a complete shill for this game, and I will advertise it at any moment I get. Oh, yo, I don't know if I've actually mentioned it. This is a game. It's called, Ultrakill. I don't know if I've talked about it before. Oh yeah, and super good advice. Buy the game as soon as you can if you're interested. Like I said, it's $20 right now, but the price is going to go up as they add more content. You save the most money buying it sooner rather than later. It'll only get more expensive from here. Unless it goes on sale, obviously. I saw someone say this game was Doom on a budget. In fact, I saw a lot of people say that. And honestly, I think that's pretty disrespectful. This game is marginally better, because while both of them might have water, only one of them has swimming. Who the hell are you? You ditched me! I don't even know who you are. Get the fuck out of my house!
Everybody that I know, before they die, they wanna go to places that they've never been. Keep your expectations low. And everybody that I knew that moved away to someplace new won't stop complaining about rent. I can't complain cause I do too. Every time you feel the wind pass through your car onto your skin, they broke your window, stole your phone, invaded home, came back again. Everything I stole from you, what you want back, I'll bring it to you, just as an excuse to see if anyone